just like I said, anybody that's focused on putting their art and what inspires them into the world, that's what I consider great.
What is good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Highnoon. Yeah, this is episode 3. We're on episode 3. We're gonna sit down with my boy OG Diplomat.
I can't wait to shoot this shit right here. This shit gonna go crazy.
He's an artist, he's a fashion designer, he's a creative, overall cool dude, a lot of knowledge, big sports fan, and he's gonna talk to us about his sports influence, the influence sports has had on him with his creativity. He's gonna talk to us about shit, betting on yourself, doubling down, and he's gonna talk to us a little bit about networking and the importance of getting yourself out there and doing what you need to do to get to the places you want to see yourself at. All right, so let's get right into it. Here with OG Diplomat C4 High Noon, episode 3.
What got you into fashion? What made you say I want to make my own clothes? Because that's pretty much what I've seen you do over the years is take the heat press out. We're gonna get into that too, but you know what I'm saying? Like I just want to know what made you decide I want my own shit.
I feel that. There's a couple different factors. Like, I guess I could start. Like, my mom, she went to school to actually be a fashion buyer. And she's always
A fashion buyer? What is that?
fashion buyer back in the day. I don't know if this is still. It probably still is a job in the fashion industry. Basically, they're people that if you like say a store like Macy's, right? You go and shop and see what pieces like from different designers you put in the store. That's what a fashion buyer would be. So you go into different companies, different brands, and meeting with them throughout the year, throughout the seasons, and you're looking to see what pieces are we gonna put in the store. Or you're getting with them and tell them, hey, these pieces not doing too well, it's not selling. Send that back, send us some new stuff. So that's what my mom was going to school for. But she didn't get to finish because she had my sister who had autism, so she couldn't finish school and everything like that. So she always was a seamstress though. So like since my mom was like 14, 15 years old, she been sewing. Her grandmother taught her how to do it. So she's always made everything for everybody. So I've seen like since I was born, I've seen my mama making clothes for people, like making my costumes during Halloween when I was young, making dresses for our friends, our friends' daughters who was going off to prom and different things like that, tailoring suits, you know, for people's weddings and just different little stuff. And she didn't do it, you know, as a small business. That's just something, a skill she had, and she has a love for fashion. So at an early age, she put me on like just knowing color schemes, like how to make your clothes. You know, when you put on clothes, making sure it flow. Teach me about different materials and stuff like that. So it was probably her that put the fashion bug into me. And then like the actual business aspect of wanting to like get in that part would have to come from my dad because he's an entrepreneur and always been an entrepreneur since I've known him, and owned his own restaurants. He had his own construction company. Now he has his own book. He does merchandise and things like that. So from the business aspect, he always inspired me to combine the two. And then I'll just say like you said, inspired to like just make my own clothes. But really pressed me to make my own clothes is, bro, I'm from, you feel me? I'm from New Orleans, you hear me? So a lot of stuff, a lot of clothing, we in the South, man. You hear me? I'm not saying we ain't got swag, we ain't got our own style and shit, but it's so much harder for us to get the shit that we want. You know what I'm saying? To get the shit that nigga following online and peeping online. Cause then back at the time when I'm growing up, they didn't have stores like they got now. Like they had politics, but they didn't have all the shit they got now. They got the BBC, they got the ice cream, you hear me? They got the vape, they got all kind of shit now in abundance. When I was growing up in school, they didn't have all that shit, bro. So if you think about it, if they ain't got that shit ready to like buy it on retail, I gotta buy it from somebody. So niggas charging like $300-$400 for a hoodie,
Oh yeah.
$150, $200 for a shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't no dope boy. You know what I'm saying? I worked during high school for a little bit, but like, I ain't had no bread to just be dropping $300 on shit. And if anything, if I'm gonna spend $300, I'll spend it on some kicks. I was a sneakerhead, so that just motivated me, inspired me. Like, look, I can't get mad at these niggas because like it's your brand. You know, you get to determine how much what you create
is worth. You determine your worth. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna just make my own brand, and that's really where it started at, man. And I thought of the idea in high school, and I really picked it up when I went to college. So that's really how I got into fashion.
University, Tuskegee University.
you.
You know, I know you were a part of the rave review model troupe, right? How has your experience with rave, and if I'm not mistaken, you became a part of that your freshman year. So like straight out the gate, you immersed yourself into that world. How has that world affected your view on what you're doing now?
I would say it taught me a lot. Um, it showed me a lot of things that I needed to learn, and it really um, it challenged me. I say that too. Working with others and just working in like an actual fashion environment. Before, it was more so me wanting to do fashion in high school, is me just wanting to have my own brand, and like not really knowing how to do this, how to get it started or anything like that. I knew a few people that might have had a brand, but like it's not like something major that took off or was in stores or anything like that. So really getting with Ray Review and putting myself out there like that gave me the chance to get confidence, because I had I wasn't going to Ray Review to model. When my friends told me about it, I just saw on the flyer said fashion designers, models, etc. Like if you're interested in fashion, like pull up. So I'm like, of course I'm gonna pull up. Like trying to put myself out there. I'm always trying to dive in that world. You hear me? So I went out for the trials and I seen that, oh no, they expecting everybody to walk, you know what I'm saying, do the whole model thing. So like I said,
I got a chance to um really just learn, get that confidence, get experience, see what it's like to actually run a fashion show and like how high paced it is and different things of that nature. And I mean, just being real, like I'm a straight man, you know what I'm saying? It taught me, not saying I didn't know how to, deal with people in the LGBTQ community or anything like that, but it gave me more of a understanding, a different perspective, and like not to be so what's the word I'm looking for? Judgmental, or just be, pig-headed, and just like, how you're raised, the people that you're raised around, they're gonna, influence the stuff that you do. So in your mindset. So like I said, working with Ray Review taught me a lot, like I said. So it was definitely a big impact on what I do today, because a lot of things that I learned doing Ray Review I still use, and still remember and look back on when I'm doing my own shows now, or when I'm doing big events now and things of that nature. So it's always gonna be love on this side for Ray Review. I'm always gonna speak positively of them.
So tell me about that transition from you walking in shows to you designing your own clothes for people to walk for you in shows.
I would say for me, see, like going into Tuskegee, I did have like I ain't gonna lie, I was a little cocky, if I'm gonna be real with you. Like the first practice I pulled up to for rave, I had just gotten a car accident, so like I was in a bad place. So I pulled up there and I was a little late, and they was trying to charge me like $1, like $5 or something for late fee. I'm like, man, fuck is y'all? Who's y'all talking to? Like y'all asked me to come here, like you know what I'm saying? But repeat the question again. From walking, all right, but to walking to designing. All right, I would say walking. For one, like I said, it's big on learning. So walking, I learned how how you should be on the runway. So it translated to when I'm putting my pieces out there now, I know and can give direction to the models on how I want you to walk, different ways to just kind of make them feel comfortable, because I know that's something that I wouldn't say I struggle with, but I would say like something for me, I could be considered stiff sometimes when walking on the runway, or like I have a natural, like I might slouch over a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So like just different things like that I picked up and rave review and walking on the runway, posture, just what brands or what people are looking for when you're doing a fashion show, and like when you're walking on the runway, different things of that nature. So all that stuff that I got to learn while doing shows with rave review, headlining shows, I know every position that you could take, or when you're walking in the show. So getting a chance to do that with rave review really had me advanced and prepared for when I had the opportunity to do my own shows, and just knowing formations, knowing how to send people out there. So it was definitely very impactful in what I do today. So
The easiest type of merch to sell. What was your first piece that you sold, and how much did you charge for it?
my first fashion piece that I sold, it was my Illuminate hat. You dig? With Illuminate on the front, had the little star, and I think I sold the hats for like $25, $20 or $25. It was one of them.
Do you think the hats was the easiest type of merch to sell?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say hats are the easiest to sell, because something I've been taught by other designers and people that work in my field. You should always have some hats on deck, because that's one thing that most people can always buy. Like if it's a cool looking hat, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to charge that much for it. The cost of production isn't as high as doing full sweatsuits and shirts and pants and stuff like that. So it's a low cost item, or it can be a low cost item depending on what type of hat you're trying to drop. But it's something that people can all like. If you have hats on deck, you'll always be able to sell something. So I say that's the easiest thing.
Word, okay. We down to our last two questions.
Show.
This is going great. Balancing life with being a creative. What I mean by that is
Hey Trav, you can pass me my
having a
drink.
job, having a 9 to 5, and pursuing your creative endeavors. What has that been like for you?
I definitely say it's not easy. And there's a lot of moments and times where you're feeling like, well, damn, I wish I could just stick to, or I wish I could just wake up, just work on clothes every day. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I'm gonna get to. But wake up, wish I'm working on clothes every day, and just focusing on my creativity and my art and everything like that. But um, the fact is, you got to survive out here, and through legal or illegal means. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their different path. Everybody got their different way of how they get it. You know what I'm saying? But your survival is, most important first. You got to be able to feed yourself. You got to be able to bathe yourself. You know what I'm saying? Have somewhere to stay. Just you got to have somewhere to lay your head at night. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things are crucial to you being able to create and live up to your full potential. And there's different ways that you can go about it. I'm definitely not saying that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to grind hard, or like if you got to sleep in your car sometimes. Like, hey, if you got a car, then you good. You know what I'm saying? But my whole point is like you have to figure out a way to sustain your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said it's just however you go about doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you somebody that's serving pack, man, work towards like, all right, I'm serving this pack, so I don't have to, you know what I'm saying, worry about work no more, and I could focus strictly on my music. I could focus strictly on my art, on my fashion, different things like that. So you have to create or sustain your lifestyle. And like I said, it don't have to be illegal either. Like I know plenty of people that work from home and they're creatives, like big people who you would think that are, considered on, or like got big names and stuff like that. I done ran into people that they might have just quit their job within the last like okay, last 6 months of them being a creative for like 5, 6 years. You can't just be a person sitting around and be like, I want to do this, or I want to, record. I want to make fashion. I want to make a whole bunch of designs, but you ain't got no money to like put nothing towards. So that's why I encourage all my friends, any creatives, like nothing wrong with working and being creative. Don't let that downplay what you do or like make you feel like, oh, I'm not really, an artist. I'm not really a fashion designer if I'm not doing it 24/7 and it's my only occupation. Nah, don't never feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go out, I don't, what I'm saying? I told y'all I'm progressive because I'm being, what I'm saying, vulnerable, letting people inside my world. But when I'm out in the, when I'm out and about, I tell people, yeah, I'm a fashion designer. That's the first thing that come out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because that is part of who I am. I'm a fashion designer. I'm not working towards it. I put out fashion pieces. I do shows. You know what I'm saying? I have a website. Um, I didn't put a lot of work into my brand, so you should definitely represent yourself as such. But more of the story, like I said, you got to be able to sustain your lifestyle, and whatever means that is for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what's best for you and move smart, but you got to be able to, pay for the lifestyle you want to live. Sports has had a big impact in my life. Just being the fact that I started playing basketball when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Played t-ball, swam, played football, all that since a youngin. And like in New Orleans, Louisiana specifically, like we call it sportsman paradise. So we heavy on sports. Like that's a big part of the culture. So for me, I say sports really is that part right there. I just said the culture aspect of sports, how it brings people together, how it unifies people. So more so, um, I say creatively, sports help me learn how to work with others because when you get into this creative space, you're eventually gonna have to work with other people, learn how to distinguish who's good at what or where somebody's talents may lie. And I know I'm speaking more on the business side of being creative, but I feel like that's important too. Still, like if it isn't business getting done, if you're working with a team, a creative team, you got to know how to work with others. You got to know how to, like I said, acknowledge and see where somebody's talents lie and know if somebody does something better than you. That doesn't take away from what you do, because everybody has their role. So that's one of the biggest things that sports taught me. And then, like I said before, like one of my favorite players of all time and one of my favorite players just to watch is Kyrie Irving because when he has the ball in his hands, it's like poetry in motion to me. Like the way he does his moves, like you can tell that it was a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of practice that, went into everything that he's able to do in front of the crowd and everything that you can see in front of him. I think that's a big thing, like in art and just in being a creative in general, whether you're putting out music, whether you're putting out videos, whether you're designing fashion, people see or they pay attention to and hold on to once you're there, once you're at the fashion show, once you put the clothes on, once you took the pictures, you know what I'm saying? Once the video then drop, once the song then drop. They don't get to see all the hell, the crying, the blood, sweat, and tears that go in to making it. So that's where I see like the big correlation with like being a creative and being an athlete and just art and sports because both of them you put a lot of intention, you put a lot of time into. If you want to be really good, considered the best, considered really elite, then you're gonna have to put a lot of work and time and effort into it. It's kind of like if you watch a duck. If you see a duck on the pond, they floating, it look like they smooth swimming, but then underwater they kicking like hell. That's how I consider like, being an artist or being a
creative.
Where that kind of reminds me of when I was acting. We used to use this example of an iceberg. You see
Sure.
you see the iceberg from the surface, but there's so much more keeping that iceberg afloat underneath. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger than what you can actually see.
It's facts. It's bigger than what you can see. I like that.
So to wrap it up with our last question, any advice for someone who may feel like they're lost in that creative journey?
Yeah, I got some advice. And it's a cliche, but I'm just gonna tell you like the successful people that I ran into told me, just don't stop. Don't give up, bro. literally the people that don't make it in this field, or like the creative industry, entertainment industry, are the people that stopped and gave up. You know what I'm saying? Like, age isn't a determining factor in how far you can go, and how big you can make it into something, or when you can make it in something. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Virgil were like in their late 30s, you know what I'm saying, getting their recognition and getting the true, flowers for what they do. Late 30s, going in their 40s. Rick Owens, all of them. A lot of guys, I'm speaking specifically through fashion. Like, anybody that's doing fashion, bro, like, it's cool. Like, it ain't about being just hot right now. Like, you want to create something that can be long lasting, have longevity. Or, you know what I'm saying, that might not be everybody's goal, but you want to be able to build a brand that's quality enough. If you do, you're just building this up to move to your next move. You know what I'm saying? You got to build a brand up to where the quality is there, where the respect level is there, and that takes time. Like Nigo with Bape. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's no longer the owner, but he built the brand up, the company up into such a manner that he was able to sell it and make a good profit for himself. And like, it was a great business venture for him. So my advice, number one, is to never give up. You know what I'm saying? Even though it might be days where your clothes not selling, or your music not playing, or you're not getting no views, you ain't getting no spins. Sorry. Still, you never want to give up on yourself, and just always believe in what your peers and what other creatives tell you. If they, you know what I'm saying, if you got some people that's real with you, and they telling you, the work you put out dope, the work that you put out is good, and is, yeah, you know what I'm saying, but use that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the difference between when people are just gassing you up, or like just telling you what you want to hear, versus when your work is quality, when the stuff that you put out is well received by the public. You know what I'm saying? I've had enough confirmation from the universe, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the universe is gonna tell you if you're moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? If you going to, like, if you're doing fashion, or you doing music right, and you've been doing it for like 3-4 years, and like nobody has told you your shit good, like this shit is terrible, this is not good, maybe you might need to, you know what I'm saying? Don't mean you can't be a creative. Maybe music ain't for you.
I like that you said that. You said terrible, like just the feedback in general. You're not getting no feedback at all.
No feedback at all.
That means nobody gives a fuck.
Exactly.
Which, in general, nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
But when you got your art,
and you put it out there, and the homies, you know what I'm saying, even the people around you, they like, yeah, this ain't it. Yeah, that's when you listen to them. But if you got people around you, you going to different events, you going to different cities, you going to different regions, that's what gives me confirmation to, like, oh, I ain't never gonna stop with this PNP shit. I don't care how long it take. And I'm not even gonna just say PNP, the fashion. Like, the pieces I've made, I've been in the West, I've been in the West Coast, I've been in the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the South. I gotta take some more trips to the Midwest, but I've been a lot of different places with my clothing, and I get the same reception the same time. Well, I ain't gonna say the same exact reception, but like, damn, bro, this shit hard. Like, where can I get this? Like, who made this? Like, when you getting reactions like that, and it's from different places, bro, that's confirmation. That's the universe telling you everything you need to know. And when the universe doing that, bro, you gotta listen. So, to all the people out there that's creatives and inspiring to start something or follow their artistic path, don't never give up on yourself, and just listen to the universe for confirmation, and you'll be all right. That's all I could tell you, because everything else you're gonna have to figure out on your own. I ain't gatekeeping, but literally, like, your experiences is what make you. So you'll figure it out on your own. Just remember, like I said, don't give up. It's pretty simple.
Damn. What would you tell somebody that's maybe looking to start getting into doing shows, or even modeling, or, you know what I'm saying?
I would say now more than ever, it's pretty easy. Like, everybody got a homie that do clothing, that has a brand or something like that. So if you got any friends that do clothing, or you have up and coming brands in your city or in your area, just ask them, hey, bro, if y'all looking to, let me know when y'all do a shoot again, or when y'all have an upcoming shoot. I would love to model. You know what I'm saying? People are always looking for models for free. If you're trying to do fashion shows, it's really like, it's the algorithm, like on Instagram. Once you start looking and start finding like fashion shows of people putting on events, they're gonna just start flowing to your to your page and everything like that. And you just got to get at these events. Exactly. You dig what I'm saying? Let the cookies do the work. But then it's just like, bro, just being in that field, like I said, like once you do one show, you're gonna talk to other models, you're gonna talk to other people that, do this and have more experience with you, and they're gonna start putting you on more shows. Should be.
Be doing that for real. People will go and they'll like only speak to who they know. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
terrible to do, bro. Like,
It's not about that.
it's about networking,
It's
man.
about networking. That's one thing I'll say Tuskegee taught me, nigga, was to network.
But yeah, that's two things for sure. You gonna know and learn after going to that school. You gonna know how to present some shit. You gonna know how to give a good presentation. You gonna know how to network.
And that's not just Skigi. I'm really talking about just school and just being a what the fuck is the word? Damn.
A scholar?
No, not a scholar.
Like what?
Because I'm thinking about like, yeah, the point we're trying to make is this is what school's done for us, but you don't need school to know how to network.
Oh yeah, for sure you don't need school to know how to network. That's just some innate ability that should be in you if you hopping into this field, bro. If you're gonna do business and you're gonna be creative, like you have to learn how to network. Like I don't care who you are, like unless you just coming from like wealth or you coming from somebody that's already owned and you kind of don't have to do that type of shit, but you
Don't
have that
have
luxury.
don't have to learn because you already know. Shit like that.
You already know.
Introduced to motherfuckers all your life.
Yeah, exactly. You already own.
You should already know.
You already connected with people. Like, but for us that's not, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad. I got one more word of advice for people. Something that I be having to remember myself. Use your resources.
Hell yeah.
Use your resources. You know what I'm saying? If you got a resource that can help benefit you, you know what I'm saying?
Start local.
Start local.
Start with what's around you. What can you take from what's around you to use to your advantage to level you up?
Right. And there's nothing wrong with like. I think a big thing people get caught up in is like they don't want to get used. And my advice is like, I say to like that. Everybody uses each other, bro. In life, everybody uses each other. Like parents use their kids to help clean up the house. You know what I'm saying? Help take care of the house. You know what I'm saying? Different things like that. Everybody uses each other. You use your friend, like you'll use your friend for a ride if you don't have a car. Like there's nothing wrong with using people. The problem is when you misuse and you abuse people. So the key is to let people use you. Don't let them misuse you, and don't let them abuse you. And same for you. Use people as they're intended to. Just don't misuse them and don't abuse them. You be alright.
That's real.
40.
Oh yeah. Shit, that's a wrap, bro. Appreciate that.
You know what? You know what I'm saying? Be on the lookout for the TNT.